up front, Alexa. I'm still owing you a follow-up on the commercial side, but I'm not worried about it. But I will get with you on that.
No problem. And we do have time based off of that September type report or announcement that you mentioned as far as the other items. So not a problem.
Yeah, no worries. We'll be fine time-wise.
Great. So we're at the top of the hour here. I see we're slowly gathering, so we'll give it another couple minutes. There's a couple others from our team. Thank you to the ones who've joined, especially those in Israel, the late night. But let's give it a couple more minutes here, and then we'll get started. Hi, Bree.
Hi.
Thanks for joining. I know it's a late night.
Entrepreneur doesn't work on the regular hour.
This is true. Okay, I'm looking on the list here. We have Glenn and Paul from CompuWare on our side. We have key members of our R&D, Alon, Han, and Roy was able to join the conversation again. Thank you, Roy, for taking the time. And thanks, Glenn and Paul, for finding a time slot last minute as we had to move our call on Monday. Really, what we want to accomplish here are a couple things. I'll pass to our team to give the latest update of the success we had. And walk through the requirements of what's still outstanding and what those defined steps are from our perspective. And then also come to some agreement here on this call what the deliverable can be to go back and bring to TJX, show them something, right, and re-engage that excitement as opportunities don't just continue to stay hot. We need to make sure we keep Bob excited here at TJX, and at the same time, we want to go to him with something that's viable and something that both teams can agree is something we want to have customer facing. So with that, Alon or Omer, if I may pass it to you, and you can brief the team here on the latest status.
I'll take the lead, Alexa. So basically, we completed able to complete it yesterday. I don't know if you shared it with the team. We can maybe show it. I don't know if you shared the video, the end-to-end. But we actually completed the first two main aspects. One is to run the Open Legacy plugin within the Topaz workbench. That's one aspect. So for both product works in the same Eclipse. That was accomplished a few weeks ago. I think most importantly, we got finally access through the VPN, able to connect to CompuWare mainframe using some of the COBOL examples that we provided, and able to using Topaz workbench to fetch them into the workbench, as usual, I assume, with the workbench. And from that point, basically at the moment, copy the files that was fetched from the mainframe and pass them through to Open Legacy to create an API using the standard Open Legacy flow to create an API from COBOL artifacts.
No, I mean from an Open Legacy perspective, Kaz. What you're describing falls under a couple different categories on the slide that's up right now. One is the development and deployment plan, but under the development plan, there's a couple of different scenarios or patterns that we're going to need to take into consideration. One might be dealing with data transformation, one might be dealing with the transient data cube, some might be very straightforward. What we like to do is, during these exercises or during these, take those and drive them to the end, so that both Open Legacy and our client, Union Bank, sort of learn all the best practices, how this should be accommodated within their environment. So we are now defining Union Bank templates and Union Bank standards, and that just drives self-sufficiency. Like, oh, let's look at how we did it here. That's how we're going to replicate it for number 72 and number 192 and so on and so forth. It applies to transient data cubes. So we take this on, and it's all on the job training. It's all understanding what it is you need to feel and be successful.
So I think I also very important to me to join the call to kind of, I think it's a decision point. What would be the right user experience from, I would say, the shift from Topaz to Open Legacy? How transparent do we want it to be? Probably we need to try to guesstimate some efforts. What would be valuable enough to go to the client? I can show the demo. I don't know if everyone saw it or not.
No, actually, we haven't. So that would be great, or I appreciate that. And also, for you folks, Steve Kanza from our product management team's joined us. So, but no, we haven't seen it yet, so that would be great to see. Thank you.
All right. I don't have actually, one of the developers, I recorded it yesterday. I don't have the full environment. It requires additional VPN, but you should be able to see my screen. Do you see it?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll start over from the beginning. So we are actually in the Topaz workbench, as you guys know. I will not explain this
Yes,
part.
I mean, the first bullet here, the platform overview, sort of formal classroom treatment. It's a 3 or 4 day session, and not full day session, but it goes through all the aspects of the technology. It gives you a taste and feel of what you can do. That we find very important because it allows the developers to see kind of what is possible, Mark. And people start relating or extrapolating to the business pain or problem that they're trying to solve. What does the real world want that we are trying to push for? The thing that we like to do in the advisory service thing is also push back on you, because you might say, well, we're going to do it this way, and we're going to do it that way, because we've always done it that way. And it might seem like the right answer or the easy answer, but it might not be the long-term approach of saying, well, have you considered in 6 months, when you have 50 of these, how are we going to manage them? How are you going to govern those? How are you going to deal with 50 unique one-offs? So that's really where when we're going through the apprentice program, it's getting people to sort of think about that stuff. But it's a very good analogy. It's sort of you're an intern, then you're an apprentice, and then you become a master journeyman in regards to the technology. Just pulling on the apprentice thread a little, probably too far.
Roy, just to interrupt, when you're saying we need to do some thinking with CompuWare and Open Legacy, is that to the point that it's almost a drag and drop from the Topaz Explorer to the Open Legacy platform?
Let me just say that I know Open Legacy works well with copybooks. We've proven that, but essentially, Decent Cube's a different animal. It's not. I mean, it's referred to in a different way. It's referred to in a different way by the Google program. But I think that Open Legacy can handle that as well, or not. I mean, or not. I mean, that's not necessarily correct.
So, Ryan, this is Shane. I think we should approach it from two aspects. And so I think what we have represents the end-to-end view. I think, to Roy's point, I think it's really more two standalone solutions that, we've set up to work seamlessly together with some manual effort. I think we should sort of outline, or maybe Roy, you can outline what the optimum integration view would look like and what would be the expectation.
I would say pretty much 99%, 9% confident that if it's someone in Transient Data Cube, it's in the COBOL program, it's referenced, it might not be in the LinkedIn section, but it's in the main, probably co-body. It's identifying that and pulling that out and building some templating structure around it. So the ultimate dream is to automate this. And it might be a one-off, or it might be just 20 or 30 of them. But we want to automate it, because when something changes in the back end and you change something, all I want you to do is push a button and now regenerate it and not have to rewrite it or recode it. So we always look at things from that perspective of how are we going to automate this program, this process as much as possible. We've all been in this business long enough. We know that you can never automate anything 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
If we can get the bulk of the work done and we can automate it with some considerations and document that, and someone goes looks at it, that's really the nirvana we're trying to drive you at. But I mean, for me, yes, I think that's probably one of the examples. The transient data cube. I think we need to walk through that. We need to drive it end to end, and if we document that, and we build templates around that, and we build structure around that, so the next one, Union Bay can take that on and do it themselves, with maybe from someone from Chet's team looking over their shoulder and helping them along.
I don't know that TGX is specifically aligned around DevOps, but I know, clearly the DevOps is in bringing legacy assets into sort of a DevOps methodology is what's very powerful in the market.
Well, it'd be interesting to know if they've already got a mainframe DevOps pipeline actually implemented. That would definitely speak volumes. If they're that far along, then I would say they're probably definitely going to be interested in that. If they haven't really started that process yet, then, probably just a demo of all that is going to be needed at that point, because you're going to take a while to put the infrastructure in place to be able to do that.
And Hans, do you know what Glenn was just describing there, where TGX is at?
From they're very interested in some of the aspects of the Topaz product, and when we met with them and all that, they were excited about the open legacy and that having to be combined into within your Topaz suite, there's the DevOps package, and this falling into that package. So they are looking at that. They are an organization that is moving towards Agile with their mainframe development. The entire summer, their people are going through Agile training and methodologies. And I think what they want to move towards is, if they're moving to a DevOps process, that a package like Topaz is the foundation of their DevOps methodology, or at least the tooling underneath.
But there's a difference between people who can go in and check tickets and status versus anyone can send an email to support, and that actually gets them a ticket entered, and it came from Union Bank, so we would drive into your account. But, there's a handful of people in the organization that can go in and update a ticket, change the status, be able to close a ticket from a customer's perspective saying, oh, we solved this already. We got this open ticket. So, we don't generally open it up to hundreds of people on the customer's site to be able to manage and maintain tickets, but anyone can open a ticket.
Actually included ISPW or not. No, it does. That would be done, but whenever we
And just to sort of add to that, it's also sort of, since we're dealing with legacy applications, some of this is sort of identifying who are case make holders and who are going to be people who are particular applications who are going to help facilitate. How does that application how does it communicate to it? So it's also, the identification of slices of full-time equivalents throughout the development cycle. Again, the ultimate purpose of all of this is to drive Union Bank to self-sufficiency, to cover the high points, and to understand how things work, what role and responsibility or tasks they are going to be contributed to the platform and moving through the process. So they pretty much know how Open Legacy thinks, and they already know how the application and how do we marry it together.
I think it would also be important if we're showing this to Bob that we're the whole step of entering credentials in Topaz and in Open Legacy, if we can somehow not show that or be able to show that we're sharing that, would be compelling to show that it is integrated.
Now, if we're doing mainframe as provider, we'd be doing putting the API wrapper around the Open Legacy. We have I have to consume my Kobo copybook. I have to consume my Kobo Swagger.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like
So let's talk about that.
the tooling is like it's extremely flexible. So I don't really have any concerns with. It sounds doable to me. So all right. Yeah.
So now I have some questions.
This conversation. Yeah, you go ahead.
I want to get back to that point. The thing I'm talking about is advisory circuit as a discount. The reason I'm proposing that we have is from an education training perspective. It even appears as the most inspiring, easy perspective that even from my perspective, only an hour or two of training for those of us who don't do this on a daily basis. We can teach it to developers down the stream, to the engagement, and that's the reason you can have some training on the state information. Someone who's dumb as a post.
What Bobby and I have already talked about is that we're definitely going to record every session that we do for you guys, so there'll be some nuances, especially to Union Bank, that'll be different to other people, that I'm sure, as soon as we work through things tomorrow, we're going to record every session, so everything that we do from end to end is going to be recorded, so we'll be able to share that and, break that down. But we can also set up some very specific training. I'm learning right now from you that you're very interested in training. I'm making notes that you are, so we could do kind of a custom training thing just for you. We can get a couple of trainer to trainer, get some smart people in the room and work through all of that and make them share and just disseminate all that knowledge to you and to everyone else. So I'm capturing some notes here right now for some custom training for you guys. How's that sound?
Good to me.
Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. So we got a little out there. So you asked about TDP. I personally don't even think we're gonna touch that queue. I don't think we have anything like that, so go ahead.
Okay, so let me just ask, are there any questions from people on this call related to the premium level of support or the support services, the special services that we just talked about? Any questions at all? Any questions that anyone thinks that we should discuss beyond this call.
So, this is Charles, Bobby.
Hi, Charles.
On the professional services side, is the final determination that everything is needed, or do we need to revisit under the proposal?
I think that under the proposal, under the slide, that a lot of the things that are needed is, we'd have to speak to Open Legacy about making people offline.
Yeah.
Internally, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then we'll have to set up an internal call to get through in order to guide.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'll be able to wrap this up within a day or so.
Right.
Okay. Any other questions?
All right. Well, I like we've already agreed to. You'll write up some stuff. I'll write up some stuff, and we'll try to work through that in this technical session we're going to have. Sounds good. Hey, thanks everybody. A lot of great work, good progress. Really appreciate everybody's focus and effort on this.
Yeah, likewise. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, man.
Bye.